So any idea about data science? Especially for the past 5 years, this word is rising. Like if it is database administrator, what he will do, as a developer, what the developer role, as being a data scientist, what should be our role? Like any idea about that, what scientist is doing into the companies and everything? Mm. Yes. Mm. 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 Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. So indirectly you are saying that big data analysis. Okay. Okay. The answer is very correct, but this is not the responsibility of scientist. So whatever you tell, like analysis, collecting the data from different sources and getting insight from it, getting meaningful, translating that raw data into meaningful information to the company and visualization of that one. So this work will be done by data analyst. Understand? Already this person is doing that work only. What scientist is additionally going to do that? Okay, I will give you that clarity. Before this data analyst, already for the years, industry is having the people called business intelligence people. Right? Simply called as BI people. And data analyst is one more designation. Nowadays, latestly, data scientist. So here, first of all, our target is what is our role? What scientist is going to do? Even the business intelligence people, business analyst people are there. What they can do, what they cannot do, what additionally we are going to do. So that clarity is important first of all. I'm going to talk about BI team first. Suppose you are doing some transactions, sir. These transactions have to be kept into some server. Within that server, there should be some database. Nowadays, most popular databases, mostly like for all the servers, database is RDBMS, like Oracle DB2 or SQL Server, MySQL, it can be anything. But nowadays, latest trend into the databases, NoSQL databases like MongoDB, Cassandra, such kind of NoSQL database. These are next level to RDBMS. So within like seconds, if lakhs or millions of transactions are happening, RDBMS cannot bear it. At the time, MongoDB, Cassandra, such kind of NoSQL databases will be used for their online transactional support. Whatever the thing may be, database technology may be, simply these systems are called OLTP systems. OLTP means online transaction processing. Whatever the end user is doing transactions, these transactions will be recorded into these servers. But one typical organization, for example, if it is training center, one server is enough for me. Think in Reliance point of view. Think in Tata Industries point of view. One single server, they will not maintain one single server. And multiples of OLTP servers will be there. Why? Because within that, if all applications are running under one server, definitely server performance will be down. There is a high latency for the end users for their transactions. That's why to load balance it effectively, multiple OLTP servers they will be using. Suppose think that the first server is for sales application. For the sales application here, Oracle can be the database. And there is another server, another different application. For this, DB2 might be the database. And there is another server, let's say website. The two huge traffic is there for the website. Huge number of transactions per day. At the time, they might be using NoSQL databases like MongoDB, like that. In this way, they can use hundreds of database servers, especially in our HSBC Bank point of view or any biggest firm point of view. Multiple OLTP servers will be there. What is the problem with these things is This is good for online transactions. That means user interactive applications. There will be a lot of processes which are called batch processes. Suppose purchasing something with your credit card is online, but every month end or month beginning, credit card bill generation is a batch process, user non-interactive processes. So such kind of user non-interactive processes like batch processes or analytics. Okay, so analytics or comparative analysis, such kind of processes you want to do. Industry maintains a separate servers which is called data warehouse servers. You can call them as, you can label them as DWH, data warehouse. Of course, here also the databases mostly RDBMS. But here regular databases will not work out. Oracle kind of databases for the biggest organization will not satisfy the requirement load of that warehouse. If you talk about Oracle, is good for up to 10 terabyte. But nowadays organizations are getting data per day terabyte. Even some of the organizations hundreds of terabytes they are getting. Facebook kind of organizations are generating per day 110 terabyte. At the time, normal databases will not work out. There are specialized databases like Teradata, Netezza, Vertica. Such kind of databases are there. But these are good up to 200 terabyte only. Still, your data volume is bigger. They might be using Hadoop to process your data, Spark kind of systems. So finally, here entire organizational history is into this warehouse server. The recent transactions like 6 months worth or 1 year worth, that will be into OLTP systems, because these OLTP systems have less capacity. But end user is doing these transactions into OLTP, but how to bring that OLTP data into this warehouse? There is a special processes called ETL processes: extract, transform, and loading. Simply these processes are called ETL. Okay, simply this team is called ETL developers. Okay, what are the popular tools for this ETL? Any idea? Informatica, DataStage, Ab Initio, nowadays latest Talend, Pentaho. Such kind of ETL tools are there into the market. So what is the responsibility of this ETL developer? Connecting with the source systems, extract data by performing some transformations in data, and then finally load into warehouse systems. What is the need of transformation is the data modeling, the data design in OLTP phase is different. The data modeling in warehouse systems is different. This is exactly like how you maintain your product pool in your retail shop is different. How you maintain your product pool in your godown is different. Okay, that's why the data modeling part is different. Directly, the OLTP data cannot fit into warehouse systems. That's why a lot of transformations are required. By using your programming technique like Java or Python, performing such kind of ETL operations is very tough. That's why in market there are tools like Informatica, DataStage, Pentaho, Talend. Such kind of tools are there. Simply this tool is called ETL tool. Developers are called ETL developers. Okay, so that is their responsibility to bring this OLTP into warehouse. Finally, once data is going to keep into warehouse, there should be some data modeling department is there. Yeah, please come, sir. And data managing department should be there. So these two guys works only for the warehouse kind of modeling. Again, here security is required, here backups are required. If any failure happened, again recovery is required. So all these things will be taken care by these people. But finally, the end user needs what? His business reports. These business reports have to be in visualized formats. A small example, think that this is a sales report of last 3 years. Year 1, this is last year, this is current year. Think that the first one is 2016, second bar is for 17, third bar is for 18. This is what 3 year sales report you want to compare. You are my business client. I presented this report to you. So for this input is coming what? Input is coming from this warehouse system. To visualize your data, you have different software toolkit. That means your reporting tools are there. Like in the olden days, Cognos TM, such kind of things will be used. Nowadays, the popular things, Tableau or ClickView, such kind of reporting tools are there. So simply these tools are called visualization tools. These developers are called visualization developers. Now here you can observe three types of teams. One is ETL. Second one is data modeling team, modeling and managing team in the warehouse. And third one is visualization team. This entire integration of these three team simply with one name called business intelligence, simply called as a BIT. Understand the point, sir? So in this flow, you can understand some limitations. You can understand some advantages, and there the people have some limitations even. For example, try to elaborate the report number one, sir. So this is my first report, what I got here. First, you tell me what is the basic advantage of this visualization. I'm saying that this is a 3-year sales report. This is a 3-year sales report. So what is the advantage basically of this visualization? Just by seeing it, you can understand. In 2016, there is some business. When time reaches to 17, business hiked more than approximately 80% or 90% business increased. But when time reaches to 18, business fall down more than 70%. That kind of, just by seeing that, you can easily understand what happened in the past 3 years. That is what basic advantage. So that kind of questions, client questions, your BI team can solve it. But you are my business client, you are asking me one different question. The question is, observe all of you this question. Why business? That means why sales got down suddenly? This is a question in 2019 beginning I am asking. You are asking to me. Okay. And also immediately you are adding one more question. What are top 10 reasons among all suspectable reasons? Suppose your business client is suspecting some 100 reasons. Among these 100 reasons, what are the top 10 reasons for your business loss? Understand the point, sir? To solve it, your BI team, your visualizations cannot help you. Understand? To solve such kind of problems, you need to apply some mathematical models, some statistical models. By conducting different hypothesis testing, by calculating influence power of each reason on the target variable. Understand the point, sir? That is called info gain. By doing such kind of activities, by applying some mathematical models, the problem has to be solved. So in that area, one more hero will come into the picture. That is data analyst. Understood the point, sir? See, who is great? The question is invalid question. BI team is expert in BI roles. Data analyst is expert in data analyst role. At the same time, data scientist is expert in his own roles. But still, this kind of question is also not by scientist. Scientist has a different role here. Okay. So what exactly the scientist is going to do? So first of all, if I talk about this data analyst basically solving such kind of mathematical problems. And also, he will be doing predictions and he will be doing forecasting even. Based on last 10 days of data, tomorrow share value is going to up or not, he will say. Understand the point, sir? So such kind of accuracy predictions and even don't say like big data predictions and predictions. Predictions is already done by this data analyst. Got it? So such kind of activities, this one still it is not responsibility of the scientist. What scientist is going to do? His work is to train applications. That is to build trained applications. This is what our work. I think I hope all of you have seen that Rajnikant Robo movie. Okay, there Rajnikant role is data scientist. Understand the point, sir? He trained one application. That application is cheating. Once I trained that application is doing like a human. Daily in our life, a lot of trained applications we see, sir. What are those? Can you tell me some of the things except that robo movie? In our regular life, we do so many. Hmm? Not Metro. Metro is not trained application. Google Speech, you can say. Google Speech is one of the best example. And also before Google Speech, also we have been observing that trained application. Let's talk about Gmail, sir. If I send you some mail, what will happen? Automatically, email will be classified or not. Some mail will be into spam. Some mail will be into your personalized inbox, and something into promotion, something into social media. Who is doing that classification? A human is doing, or automatical application is doing that one, sir? Automatical application is doing. That means here, as a scientist, you are not analyzing the data. Understand? You are making that application automatically. That application should think like you. Automatically, that application should think like you, and it has to classify it. So application should behave like that. And also, still more examples I will give. Daily trained applications. Nowadays, especially in the computer vision department, there is a vast role of this data science. And you have been observing some of the smartphone applications. Whenever I focus cam on your face, what will happen, sir? Yes. Whenever I focus cam on your face, first of all, it's not face recognition. Based on your face, based on your face patterns, it is application is recognizing your gender or not. Application itself is saying that you are a male or female, right? Okay. Application is predicting. I am not predicting. A human is not predicting. Automatical application is predicting here, whether you are a male or female. And also one more thing, it is predicting your age also. Understand? If anybody says like wrong age, you just focus cam, automatical application will say what exactly your age is. Understood the point, sir? And nowadays even smart applications, some more smart mobile applications are predicting your mood also. Here actually expression reading. Understand the point, sir? So whether you are in a happy mood or angry mood or dull mood, automatical application is saying. Tomorrow I want to fix a cam into classroom. Whenever you people entered into the class, task number 1 is automatical attendance has to be recorded. What we are doing into the companies, we are going and we are swiping something. A fraud is happening or not? Everybody knows that. What kind of fraud is happening into that one? Okay, you are swiping there and you are coming to the class over here. Everything, everybody knows that one. So the fraud is happening here. So it's not like that. Whenever you entered into the room, automatically application has to record your attendance. How many hours you spend into that room also application has to say. Understand the point, sir? Tomorrow in classroom I will fix how many people attended to the task number 1, task number 2, how many interestingly attended, how many forcefully attended to the class also I need a report. Okay, so it's all the work not human has to do. It's all the work application has to do. Okay, and nowadays you can observe this role of the area of this data science even in chatbots also. Now every organization is implementing chatbots, but chatbots basically two types: script-based chatbots and artificial intelligence-based chatbots. If you talk about script-based, sir, what is the course name? Suppose for training center, I started one chatbot. Think that is a script-based. The behavior should be like this. What is the course name? Data science is the course name. What is the course fee? X is the course fee. Who is the trainer? Y is the trainer. Understand the point? It is a question, it should be the answer. This is the question, it should be the answer. Understand? That kind of things are called script-based chatbots. But what script-based chatbots cannot do is, for example, you are a person who is chatting like this. 2 years back, I completed my education. Now I am in dilemma whether I need to join data analyst or data scientist. Understand the point, sir? For such kind of questions, how human is counseling you based on your previous background? Okay, based on your mindset, one expertized counselor will be counseling to you, right? Such kind of counseling, the script-based chatbots cannot answer you. Some fixed questions, some fixed answers they can deliver. Now the latest trend into the chatbots is artificial intelligence-based chatbots. Understand? So how human is replying you, how human is counseling you, on such way the artificial intelligence-based chatbots will reply you. This is what like AI with the NLP combination. Nowadays in the artificial intelligence, especially in the area of reinforcement learning, Okay, with powerful libraries like Rasa, and Google has released one more powerful library with the TensorFlow and Google Dialogbox. By using such kind of things, you can make with simple coding, you can make powerful of chatbots. So this is what exactly the data science area. Understand? But what are the things purposes we discussed about this data science? In order to achieve it, you need some sub-disciplines into data science. Actually, data science is not a software. Data science is not any toolkit. Data science is a set of sub-disciplines. It's a set of sub-disciplines. What are those data science sub-disciplines? Number one, machine learning. Have you heard about this? So when machine learning came into the picture, sir? When machine learning came into the picture? 1950s only machine learning is available. Understand? Artificial intelligence, first robo released into market, into the world, is in 1953. First robo. That means at that time only this kind of model is available. Okay. After that, neural networks came into picture. Its extension nowadays about the neural networks, that is deep learning, especially the senior guys. If you want to enter into this data science field like as a fresher or 1+ or 2+, this machine learning with NLP, that is okay. If you have more than 5+ of IT experience, you want to get into this data science area, means definitely you should be with deep learning. Okay. Last year till 2007, industry not asked you about deep learning. Now 2018 onwards, industry started asking deep learning. Okay. In this way, data science is not a new one. In fact, it's a very old one. But recently it came into IT, came into our regular life applications. That's why IT industry has formed one special name called data science. Okay. And there is another special department called NLP. By mixing of all these things, you can build with the special approaches artificial intelligence systems. For that, artificial intelligence. These are the current subdisciplines of data science. Okay. In future, a lot of new disciplines will be coming. Nowadays, I've heard about cognitive computing. Cognitive. This is what cognitive learning. These are the future data science departments. Cognitive learning and artificial learning. Artificial intelligence is different. Artificial learning is different. Sir. Today I will explain what is the importance of each and every subdiscipline. Artificial learning. In this way, different subdisciplines. So currently industry is asking about first four. Maybe by next year 2020, it may ask about cognitive and artificial learning also. Okay, in this way, daily new disciplines will be adding into weapon pool of this data science. So for today, let's take a clarity of the first four subdisciplines. Sorry, don't worry about this introduction session notes. Okay, I'm recording this session. The first I'm going to talk about machine learning. Any idea about machine learning, sir? What is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of it, machine learning? Especially nowadays, Google is talking too much, Amazon is talking too much about this machine learning. Any idea? Sir, up to now, training is happening, sir. I am a human. Of course, I am a trainer. You are a human, you are a student. Replace the word student with learner. Trainer, learner. What is who is giving training? One human is giving training. Who is learning? Human is learning. Understand? Up to now, human to human training or learning is happening. Now, as being a scientist, as being a machine learning engineer, you are a trainer. But your student is not human. Your student will be mathematical model. Understand the point, sir? Your student will be mathematical model. Machine learning is an approach how to train a mathematical model. Here, what do you mean by a mathematical model? Any predictive equation, any mathematical predictive equation is called a model. Understand the point, sir? So don't treat this word as a, in a very bigger confused way. All of you passed 10th class, right? I'm sure. Y equal to mx plus c, you know what is that? Is a straight line, right? Is a straight line. Y equal to a plus bx is a regression line. Suppose my regression coefficients are like this: y equals to 2 plus 3x. Think that x is your age, y is your weight. I constructed a relationship between age and weight. Weight is my target, input is age. If the relationship between age and weight is like this, 2 plus 3x, if I know your age, I can predict your weight or not. Understand? So this is one predictive equation. In this way, a lot of predictive models are there in mathematics. Understand the point, sir? But how the model will learn this 2 and 3? How model will learn that relationship between input and output? Understanding the point, sir? How to train our model? That approach. How to train our model? That approach is by machine learning. Got it? So simply, but later I will come to, once the part explained, I will come to this one. I'm going to train you means you have brain, that's why you have thinking ability, that's why you are learning. But how brainless mathematical model will learn it? This is the biggest challenge. How to supply, how to attach brain to your mathematical model. Understand? Here model different, brain different, sir. Model different, brain different. A mathematical model initially having no knowledge. After train, it is going to acquire knowledge. Finally, acquired knowledge I will deploy into application. I don't apply model into application. Trained knowledge, trained model will acquire knowledge. That knowledge I will deploy into application. Whenever I deploy that application into, deploy knowledge into application, application will become smart application. Understand the point, sir? Smart application can think like human about that activity. Example, spam engine. Example, your face recognition. Example, your Google self-car driving. Have you heard about this? Okay, without driver, Google car is able to drive on the roads. Okay, so all these are what? Trained applications. That means in the trained application, knowledge is injected. Getting the point, sir? But how to train our brainless model, that is the challenge here. How to add brain to that model? There are two things, sir. Model different, brain different in machine learning. Understand? So how exactly this will happen? Very soon we'll come to that point after minutes. So simply, what is your comment about machine learning? Is an approach to train mathematical models. Once models got trained, but to train it, we need weapon. That weapon is data. From that data, your model will learn patterns. Understand? What kind of patterns are for males? What kind of patterns are for females? It will learn it. Next onwards, if you give any image, automatically based on the pattern matching, your model could able to predict whether you are a male or female. Got it? Okay, once models got trained, model will acquire knowledge. This knowledge is called model fit. Technical term here is model fit. Model means instrument. Model fit is knowledge of that one. You can say gun and bullets, right? The model fit has to be tested. Suppose I trained you about some topic. Before sending into the project, I want to test you. If I'm satisfied about your accuracy, then I will send you into the project. Like that, once I train my model, whether my model has learned perfectly or not, I need to test it. This is what evaluating the model, simply technically called as accuracy testing. If accuracy is satisfied, deploy model into application. Not model fit. Deploy model fit into application. Then this application will become what? Smart application. Now tell me, what is the difference between a general normal software application and this smart application? Hmm. Hmm. Yes, almost. Technical word not released, but what you said is correct. General software applications are instruction based. In our programming, whatever the instruction set you have given, according to that, your general software application will behave. Always it will behave like that. But smart application can think like human. That means smart applications are intelligence based because intelligence is indirectly injected into application. Understand the points? So that is the basic difference between this. So here, where is data scientist means how to train your mathematical model about given activity or about given certain task. Got it? Okay. Now we know the purpose of machine learning. There is another department called deep learning. Its purpose is also to train math models. Machine learning purpose same, deep learning purpose same, but for the same purpose, why two different activities? Is that means one discipline cannot do something, another discipline will solve that problem. That means you are strong in one area, I am strong in one area. My strongness is not with you, your strongness is not with me, like that. So both purpose is same, but why two separate things is the machine learning. Simply, I am saying that ML. Okay, ML is good for simple predictions. The DL is good for complex predictions. What do you mean by simple and what do you mean by complex here? Suppose a small task, sir. Madam, 1 minute. Just follow. I will give you recording. Don't worry about notes. I'm giving you some 10 human face pictures. 10 human face pictures. Just by seeing the picture, can you say who is male, who is female? Hmm? Not only you. 3 years kid also will say without struggling your brain. This is what simple prediction. Conceptually, you are calling it as a simple prediction. Mathematically, what? Understand? All of you know in our basic 9th class and 10th class, set theory, sets. A is one set, B is one set, A intersection B, A union B. Okay. What is that intersection? Comma. Right? Okay. Think that, sir, to train my application, to train my model, that to recognize who is male to female. Just with one image of male, one image of female, I cannot train my model. To train it, I need examples. I need to collect hundreds of female pictures, hundreds of male pictures. Then I will label it. Who is male, who is female, I will label it. Then I will train it. Then my model will acquire what is the pattern for male, what is the pattern for female. That is what the target. Okay, in this, think that I'm taking one circle. Circle number 1 is a set of male features. Male has some features, right, in appearance terms. I'm not talking about biology. In photo, in image, in appearance terms, male has some features, right? Okay. Similarly, think that the circle number 1 is a classifier 1. The classifier number 1 is a male. This is the circle number 1 is set of male features. Okay. Circle number 2 I am taking. This is circle number 2. Circle number 2 is a set of female features. Are there common features or not? In appearance terms, between male classifier and female classifier, there are some common features. How is that commonality? How is that commonality? Hmm? Less or more? In this example, less or more? Less commonality. That means more distinctive features for male, right? More distinctive features for male, right? More distinctive features for female, right? That's why your brain is not struggling. Understand? Just by saying this without struggling brain, you are able to say, okay, that guy is male, this guy is female. Even kid also will say that, not only you. This is what simple prediction mathematically. That means between the classifiers, if commonality less, distinctive features are more, simple prediction. Understand? But when you will confuse, if commonality is very high, if commonality is very high, okay, machine learning can solve that kind of simple prediction problems. Okay, sir, now I am changing the task. Two tasks I am giving you. What task you can say? Please try to say, answer me. Today I am introducing Mr. Ravi and Giri. Both are twins. Ravi and Giri both are twins. Appearance terms exactly equal. Understand? Today I introduce. Tomorrow one of those guys appear to you. Straight away, do you recognize them? Who is Ravi? Who is Giri? Day number one I introduced. Day number two, one of those guys appear to you. Can you recognize? No, you will be failing. Why you got failed? Why you got confused? More commonality. Maybe 95% commonality. Between their features, 95% is the commonality. That's why your brain is struggling. There is a small difference. Only 5% is the difference. Your brain is neglecting. Brain could not able to identify them. That means you need Einstein brains at that time. But what about their parents? Their parents are recognizing the twins or not? Their close relatives are very close friends who did long journey with them. They could able to recognize it or not? They are recognizing. Understanding the point, sir? That means they got deeply trained about their features. We got slightly trained about their features. Understand the point, sir? And one more example. Okay, forget about human pictures. So still, I am going to give you pictures only. I am giving some 10 pictures of rabbits, sir. Rabbits. I am giving you 10 pictures of rabbits, 10 photos of rabbits. Just by seeing the photo, can you say which is male rabbit, which is female rabbit? Hen and cock, you can say. Hen and cock, you can say. Which is male, which is female. But I am giving you pictures of rabbits. Can you say it now? You cannot. Why? Commonality not 95%, sir. Commonality is in appearance terms 99.99. Your brain will be confusing or not. But a female rabbit is recognizing male rabbit saying hi. Male rabbit is recognizing female rabbit even after 100 feet distance also. It is understanding that. That means they got deeply trained about. We are not. Are you getting my point? This is what complex predictions. For all these complex predictions, deep learning is used. But I have deep learning. Why machine learning then? Of course, deep learning is not a special one, sir. Deep learning is also one of the sub-discipline of the machine learning. Now it is elaborated as, exposed as a special discipline. Understand? That means all basic models of machine learning we use for simples. That means commonality is less than 60%. We can use machine learning. Commonality is greater than 60%. We go with deep learning. But your life involves with a lot of simple activities and a lot of complex activities. If you apply only machine learning models into your application can do only simple predictions, simple activities. If I apply both machine learning and deep learning, if I apply both activities, then your application can do all the things. Even the simple pattern, even the complex pattern, your application could able to manage. Suppose I did one application, sir. That application purpose is based on the transaction pattern, application has to recognize whether it is a fraud or genuine transaction. Application has to recognize whether it is a fraud or genuine transaction. Understand? For that, hundreds of frauds transactions, hundreds of genuine transactions I have collected. I have labeled them. I trained my models. Okay, with both help of deep learning and machine learning. Suppose only machine learning I kept it. Understand the point, sir? Now, one of the frauder from India, he is trying to do the fraud. Application easily catch it. Because in the Indian fraud patterns, there is a huge distinction between genuine and fraud. That means less commonality. Come on, sir. If Pakistani hacker is trying to hack you, understand the point. If Pakistani hacker is trying to hack you, his fraud pattern is hacking pattern is different. Understand, sir? If you see his pattern, it seems exactly as a genuine only, but in fact that is a fraud. Your application will be missing that one because complexity high. At the time, neural networks will be helpful for me. Up to 75% commonality it can do. Understand the point, sir? Still, North Korean kind of hacking attack is done. 99% commonality between genuine and fraud. Your application will be missing that one. Easily, if they started hacking you, even God only can save you. Such kind of things will be there. Understand the point, sir? So at the time, the deep learning will help you. So now my application is having both the things. Simple patterns, complex patterns, anything, my application can recognize it. Understand the point? So mainly like here for the deep learning, there is a statement, sir. Recognize a black cat on dark nights. What is the challenge in this? Recognize a black cat in dark nights. In dark night. What is the challenge? Because of dark night, everything is black. Cat color is also black. Only one small clue for you. Eyes. But a lot of animals are sparkling their eyes. How can you recognize this is a spark from cat? Why not dog? Why not some other? It's a spark of the. How can you say this is a spark of cat? This is a spark of some other thing. Understand the point, sir? Like that. That much of complex applications, the deep learning can solve it. Understand? So now industry is especially is asking for machine learning. Machine learning. Lot many people have learned it now. Deep learning is the next level. Okay. So now you know two separate disciplines: machine learning, deep learning, and one more thing here: NLP. Any guessings? What is the full form of NLP? Natural language processing. Okay. So what is the importance of NLP? First, try to understand. I'm giving you some data, sir. That too, the data is about customer reviews. My data is in a table. The customer ID and review. Customer ID number one. The customer one is saying that like, whenever you say like in database, what will be recorded? One will be recorded. Suppose you have some 1,000 customers about your restaurant or about your product or service. Once they have used it, you are giving some online form. You are giving two options, either like or dislike. If they're satisfied, they will click on like. If not satisfied, they will click on dislike. Suppose first customer liked it, one recorded. Second customer disliked it, zero recorded. In this way, today you have 1,000 reviews. End of the day, you are interested how many are positive about me, how many are negative about me. Understand the point? So to answer that kind of question, simply this kind of frequency table will help you. Number one, there are 900. Number zero, there are 100 out of 1,000. That means what's most of customers satisfied or not? What is the satisfaction level here? 90% is the satisfaction level. Okay, of course, 10% not satisfied. So in this way, like you want to understand the satisfaction level of your customers. Got it? But companies won't care that kind of review models. There is no genuinity in that review models. Okay? Why? Because a lot of likes are obligated likes. A lot of likes are obligated likes. For example, I am first time introduced to you. I have taken some similar kind of activity for you. After completion of this workshop, I am asking you, do you like my session? Even though you don't like it, what you will say? You will say like yes. But in fact, reality might be different. Understand the point, sir? So that too, even in social media is also like lot many things you are observing. Without reading your content, without reading the post, first you will like it, share it. Suppose your friend has posted something, first you will like it and share it. That means obligations are more dangerous. That's why there is no value for such kind of review models. But somewhere in social media, somewhere in review site, you will type your own heart feeling in your own words. There is a reality in that word. Got it? See, now my data is like this. Customer one is saying that, suppose it's all the reviews about your restaurant. Think that your restaurant product is biryani. Taste is good. What is your understanding by the review, sir? Review number one, sir. What is your understanding by the review number one? Positive customer or negative customer? Huh? He's a positive customer. Okay. So, but your brain understood this as a positive customer. But the great Oracle system, the great your programming systems cannot understand that is a positive. They simply treat it as a text. That's it. Understood my question meaning? And second, customer is saying like this: taste is not good or bad. The third one saying like this: taste is good, smell is bad. The customer number four needs to be more spicy. Customer number five, quantity is less. If you look at the customer number five, he is not talking anything about the taste. That means taste is satisfied, but quantity is less. That means he is expressing his expectation. The fourth customer, preferences he is giving, needs to be more spicy. And the third customer, he is saying that taste good but smell bad. Is a typical pattern. Your brain can understand he is a negative, but system cannot understand. Understand the point, sir? Now, such kind of things my model has to understand. I want to train my model, which is positive, which is negative. Next onwards, if any customer has given review, if any customer has given review about my organization or my product or my service, automatically my application has to understand it. Understand the point, sir? But to train my model in machine learning or deep learning, all my models are what? Mathematical models. The mathematical computations are expecting what? Numerical values. But your given data is not a numerical value. Your given data is not a numerical feature. But mathematical models are expecting numerical features as inputs. Understand, sir? 10 into 20, 200, you can say Ravi into Rani is what? Taste into good is what? You cannot multiply them. You cannot perform computations on that. Are you getting my point, sir? So now I need a special discipline which can convert these text features into numerical features, which can extract numerical features from the given raw text. Understand, sir? That discipline is NLP, natural language processing. Basically, it does two things: pre-processing of the text, and the second important thing for our machine learning is extract numerical features from the text. Understand the point, sir? There are many number of techniques for feature extraction, numerical feature extraction techniques, like word existence feature, word proportion feature, lexical feature, lexical diversification feature, TF, IDF, TSNE. In this way, different many number of features are there. About all these technicals, you will be learning into NLP department. Okay, among them, one of the, to make you understanding, one simple feature called text word existence feature I will demonstrate you. Okay, just observe this one, sir. Somebody is have sent your WhatsApp messages or email messages to you like this. User number one say that I love you to you. Second, I hate you. Third, I kill you. I love to kill you. Think that there are four messages. What is positive, sir? I love you, positive. I hate you, negative. I kill you, What about the second? Some typical pattern. I love to kill you. Understand the point, sir? Still negative. You cannot fix programmatically the word love existed, that is a positive. The word bad existed, the kill existed, that is a negative. Programmatically, you cannot fix it. Pattern of the language is important here. Understand the point, sir? Now I want to extract numerical features from this text. Among them, one of the simple feature, word existence feature. But this we don't use. Mostly in machine learning, we use TF-IDF feature. In deep learning, we use T-SNE feature. Okay. Later you will understand what is the importance of them. First, all of you try to respond me. There are 4 documents here. Each comment is a document in machine learning, that NLP terminology. Okay. There are 4 documents. In all the documents, how many unique words are here, sir? How many unique words? What are those unique words? I. Next. Love. You. Hate. Kill. Two. That's it, right? How many unique words? 6 unique words. Okay. These 6 are the 6 features. These 6 are the 6 features. Treat it as a matrix. Each word as a column. Each document as a row. How many documents I have? How many documents I have? 4 documents. How many columns I have? 6 columns. Now you are going to build one feature matrix. The feature matrix size is 4 by 6. 4 rows, 6 columns. Okay. So your mathematical models are expecting data in numerical matrices. Okay. Now I'm going to take it, sir. First line, all of you answer me. The word I is available or not? That's why 1. Love. You. Remaining 0. Here also 0. Here also 0. This is the feature from first document. Come on, tell me for a second, sir. Tell me for a second. 1, 0, 1, 1. Remaining 0, 0. In this way, for the last row, please. 1, 1, 1. Hate 0. Kill 1, 2, 1. Like this. Understand the point, sir? Once numeric features are extracted, now I can train my machine learning models or deep learning models. So I trained it, sir. I trained it. I have 10,000 customers for my business. Among 10,000, 6,000 are positive comments. They have given reviews. 6,000 are positive comments. 4,000 negative comments. Okay, I trained my model. Next, I deployed that model fit into my application. Next onwards, one new customer is giving a review. When our new customer has given review, immediately feature extraction should be done. The extracted feature will be sent to my model fit. My model fit will decide it as whether it is a positive or negative. Suppose even there are some websites. If you try to put some bad words in our Telugu or English, automatically application will rejecting them. If you put some bad words, automatically application will reject them. Understand? That means that is a trained application or not? That's it. Like this, so many applications. So now, what is the use of machine learning with NLP combination? What are the different applications you see? Now the combination of these two is very demanded. ML and NLP. Only ML and NLP if you learn, you can get into the industry. But senior people, you have to be with deep learning. And next level, reinforcement learning, which is artificial intelligence, like that. ML and NLP. Previously, I told you one thing: Gmail spam engine. That means that is trained how? That means how Google might be trained it. Some thousands of spam messages, some thousands of non-spam messages. They trained it. Understand? Next onwards, if any new mail comes, automatically application is saying, okay, this is spam, this is not spam. Understanding this point, sir? On such way, this is the example of ML and NLP combination. Okay, come on, sir. Deep learning and NLP combinations. Complex patterns should be there. Of course, still in the sentiment understanding, especially if I train my model using your informal chat language, especially in chats, we don't follow any grammatical rules. Understand? WHU, what is the meaning of it? Understand? WRU, what is the meaning of it? Such kind of words we will be using. Even sometimes you will be doing some sounds of U, M, M, M. Understand? How your models can understand it? Is a typical pattern or not? For such kind of things, you can use deep learning. Even nowadays, one more thing, sir, like especially in deep learning, there is a model called recurrent neural networks. Recurrent neural networks. In deep learning, one of the network model is recurrent neural networks. Okay, all of you small test. Answer me. I'm typing like this. Sachin is great. What? Sachin is great. I just typed in Google search or some box. Automatically, whatever Google is saying. If you say Sachin is a great, immediately Google is saying that a cricketer or batsman. Understand the point, sir? So based on the previous 3 words or 4 words what you have typed, based on that, Google is predicting what you are going to type in the next moments or not. So that will be done by recurrent neural networks of the deep learning. Autocorrect is not that one. Autocorrect is a different concept because the dictionary is already got fed into that one. That is instruction based. Understand? Instruction based, that is. Now it is when you type something, automatically coming next to 2 or 3 characters, it is predicting, right? 3 words it is predicting. On that way, now Google is going to, if it is a question answer, it is predicting. Suppose, how are you? What is a predictable answer? I'm saying that, hi, how are you? What is a predictable answer? Yeah, I'm fine. How do you do? Automatically, if you observe the LinkedIn chat, okay, if you reply something, automatically some possible answers it is highlighting. Past patterns, based on past patterns. Understand the point, sir? Suppose you have 10 years journey. What is the last 3 years? What is the last 3 years? Let's say 16 to 18. If you enter into the next year, what is the last 3 years? 17 to 19. Again by next year, 18 to 20. Understand the point, sir? That means every year new patterns will be coming or not. So that if I keep on rebuilding the models, every time your model will be acquiring fresh knowledge or not. Understand the point, sir? Like that. Just all of you try to search it recent. Do you know Google recent issue on Trump? Type idiot. Type idiot in your Google. Trump will be highlighted. We should be take care. Our name should not be there. Understand the point, sir? Some algorithmic mistake. So based on this mistake, you cannot like underestimate the Google. Google is the dawn of all these algorithms. How PageRank is running, how Pragal algorithm is running, how Google is doing all these wonders, because they are using a lot of powerful algorithms. Understand? Suppose if you are a doctor, can you give me guarantee? If you do 100 operations, all the 100 operations will be succeeded. But accuracy is important. If I am a doctor, 10 success rate, 90 failure rate. If you are a best doctor, 99 is success rate, 1 is the failure rate. The failure is common for everyone. Like that. So some mistake in the algorithm. Like that. Got it? Okay, that is the like use cases of deep learning and NLP, sir. Then what about artificial intelligence? Still, I did not discuss about this artificial intelligence models. Okay, so in next class completely I discuss about this importance of this artificial intelligence. So especially in this, there is a concept called reinforcement learning. How exactly this reinforcement learning will come in the next class we will be discussing. So AI plus NLP combination. What is that? In the beginning, I told you one thing: artificial intelligence based chatbots. What is the advantage of those chatbots? You have a business, you have some 5 products, or else you have a training center, same data science training centers, and also you're running other different courses also. If I have a chatbot, what is the advantage to you? No need of human, point number 1. Whatever the question you asked, okay, Chatbot Rita will reply you. Understand? That with very patiently, very politely, it will reply you. But if it is human, morning 7 to 9, they are working very pleasantly. At lunchtime, their working style will be changing. Before office close time, their working style again will be changing. Understand the point, sir? Okay, office closed. Next, midnight by 12, you have a question. Midnight 12, you have a question. The human is not available, right? Chatbot available, right? Okay, one more thing, one more advantage. A human is giving counseling. At that time, already I am doing counseling with person number 1. Person number 2 is in waiting. Person number 3 is in waiting. But if it is a chatbot, at a time, it can answer these 3 people. Even 1,000 people at a time connected, 1,000 people, 1,000 different answers, the chatbot can deliver. Understand the point, sir? So on that way, artificial intelligence based chatbots. Script based is different, outdated. Now what is required is artificial intelligence that should behave like a human. Suppose for a medical advisor, it should behave like a doctor. Understand? Tomorrow for technical answers and questions, if such kind of chatbots comes, what will happen? No faculty in Amirpet. No need of trainer. Whatever the question, if you have chatbot is giving powerful reply, what is the need of a trainer? Everything it will take care, right? That to tomorrow voice based chatbots will come. You just speak your question, chatbot is replying in the voice. That too, AI based even translators came. You understand very comfortable in English slang of Indians. Okay, according to your speaking style, it will recognize your voice pattern and linguistic pattern. According to that, it will answer you in English style only, not in US accent. If such kind of chatbots coming into the picture, no training centers, no food for us faculties. Understand the point, sir? So this is what like the trending technologies. So in this way, like machine learning, deep learning, NLP, artificial intelligence. So all these things we are going to train. You can observe all these things in our robo movies, sir. Especially robo 1 point of view. Trainer is Rajni. That means treat him as a machine learning engineer or scientist. Application is Chitty. Initially in the beginning, the robo got trained with machine learning and NLP. Machine learning and NLP. The main objective of that robo, that Rajni, is to deploy this robo into army borders, but rejected in that testing. According to the story, what might be the reason, sir? According to that story, what might be the reason why robo got rejected? Could able to do simple things, not able to do complex things. Rejection reason number 1. Again, second phase of training happened with the deep learning. Now can do simple, can do complex, can understand text, image, video, and everything. Understand the point, sir? Okay. Now again, second time also rejected. Reason, whatever the patterns you train, its limitation is that patterns only. Once I deployed into the army borders, suddenly enemy attacked with a new pattern, it cannot understand. That means self-thinking is missing, self-learning is missing. That's why in the next phase, artificial intelligence with reinforcement learning features embedded. Understood the point, sir? Now it is almost like Rajnikant, the trainer, but still not. If trainer needs, he can make another robo. But this robo 1 cannot make other robos. In that interval, second phase of that movie, okay, after interval, villain, do you remember? Villain entered and he installed some red chip. That is what artificial learning chip. Once artificial learning embedded into the application, trained application can make other application get trained. I train only you. Later remaining you people will train others. Like that, one trained model will will inject knowledge into other different models. Understand the point, sir? This kind of approach is called artificial learning. Maybe now industry is not using this one. Maybe by next year you need it. Okay, before artificial learning came into the picture, first of all, you should be strong into the artificial intelligence kind of models. Are you getting my point, sir? Okay. So in this way, like you have different cases. Now think that your application is having machine learning, DLP. So DL and NLP with reinforcement learning of artificial intelligence. Now what you can do, what you cannot do. What your application can do, application cannot do. all simple and complex predictions. Data is a text, image, number, video, audio, anything it can understand. And also it will learn from failures also. So suddenly one new pattern comes, definitely failure will happen. From that failure, again it upgrades its knowledge. Always keep on updating its fresh knowledge. Understand? So in tomorrow's session, same thing. Have a special discussion on artificial intelligence. Okay? Yeah. Thank you very much. Online team tomorrow also same time, sir. Praveen will send you these recordings to you.